Today on the Mike O'Mara Show.
If you are choosing to go to that particular grocery store on a Friday at 5, you are going to, and hear me here, because I guarantee it, you are going to go at probably the busiest time ever. Now I just talked about nothing.
Did you get the playbook or something?
Oh, please don't burn me.
So don't use that as the title.
Yeah, don't burn me or my
mom. So
mom.
you were going to use it and then...
So we Googled the lyrics of Barracuda. I always thought it was Ooh-cha Barracuda.
Ooh-cha Barracuda. I don't want to monopolize this conversation. Do you boys, I know you work with Dan every day. Is there anything you would like to share with Mr. O'Brien?
Yeah, I would. I'd like to actually do the scene set.
Dan O'Brien.
That's me. All that and more. The Mike O'Mara Show starts now. Mike O'Mara Radio Entertainment. You can listen to the Mike O'Mara Show at MikeO'MaraShow.com.
Let's get started.
It's the Mike O'Mara Show with Mike O'Mara, Oscar Santana, and Rob Spiewak. Now, here's Mike.
Welcome to the Mike O'Mara Show. Glad to have you along on a fabulous Tuesday show. We are so happy to have you all here, and we're so appreciative. We don't say it enough. We are so appreciative of all the support we get around the fruited plain and around the world, for that matter. I know we have a listener that lives in Ireland that showed a lovely picture of a rainbow on social media, and I thought that was very special. We're heard in St. Paul, Minnesota, Bath, Maine, Rapid City, South Dakota, Nice, France, Cary, North Carolina, and the Principality of Monaco. I never knew it was called that.
That's the proper name. Someone just said Monaco, but what I did is I go into the Wikipedia and find out the proper name.
Hey, you show respect.
Of course.
The more I think about it, that is a part of the world I must see before, they throw me in the ground.
Well, it's right up your alley. It's up anybody that fantasizes about just what we've seen at even the F1 races. If it's not
Isn't it
happening
like
there.
a James Bondy kind of
Casino
European
Royale.
destination?
Well, yeah, and they
right?
had, there was the prince and the princess of Monaco. I think they still
Right.
have, proper royalty over there, right?
Oh, well, Grace Kelly?
Yes, exactly.
Look at
Maybe
me.
the prettiest lady
I'm
who
the
ever
history
lived.
buff.
I believe
Today.
Grace Kelly was the prettiest movie star ever to grace the screen.
Yep.
That's my opinion.
She would hold up these days.
Oh, 100%.
I think she would. I think she would
know what I
be.
mean?
Yeah.
She was wonderful. Absolutely
Different type of beauty back
wonderful.
then, but,
and then, like a lot of the greats, bailed early, which I think more people
Well, she had
should
to
do.
retire.
Well, yeah, but
But she had to retire to marry the prince.
She made one last movie, which was High Society, which has Bing Crosby and Frank Sinatra in it. It's a great film.
One of her weakest movies, I thought. I didn't like that
I
movie.
love
Did
that
you like that
I
movie?
love the
Oh,
music
she
in
had
the movie.
one step out of Tinseltown,
And
if I
you know
remember
what?
correctly.
Also,
1 foot.
that because of that movie,
One step?
she
I'm an
is, I think, the only member of European royalty to have a hit record because she co-sang on a song on that movie, which puts her on
What
the charts.
was the movie?
High Society. The song is True Love. It was a duet with Bing Crosby.
Are you aware, when it comes to your nostalgic corner, that Tripp was picking a nit with you when he said that nostalgia is something that people remember fondly? And when you go back to the 30s,
I love
he was
Tripp.
making a point. He was making a point that when you go back to the 30s with the Marx Brothers, you are going too far to make it true nostalgia on a large scale for the listening audience.
I can pick nits as well.
Can I finish? Can I finish,
Yes.
please? You're exercising kind of a self-satisfying thing. What say you?
That's
Mr. Spiewak?
false because the Marx Brothers enjoyed a run on television well into my childhood, and I was born in the 70s. And so they actually had a big resurgence in the 1970s. And if it's anything that anyone remembers fondly, then it is nostalgia. I'm sorry Tripp doesn't like the Marx Brothers, but
I don't know whether he didn't like the Marx Brothers. He was making a point about nostalgia.
Well, I think if someone remembers something fondly, then it's nostalgic. I remember it fondly. So I can only use myself as a barometer.
Are they rebooting the Marx Brothers? Did I not know that? Is it something that's popular in general pop culture?
Well, no, but again, didn't imply that.
Oh,
I'm talking about nostalgia.
I got it.
Right.
No, but I mean the point being,
I might have missed that.
I'm sure that there are many people in the audience that know the Marx Brothers.
Sure. And
It would just be a
remember them
question-
fondly, I'm betting.
It would be a question of numbers.
Yeah.
Well, maybe that was a slightly narrow-casted choice.
I talk about Buddy Rich, and not nobody knows Buddy Rich anymore.
Everyone knows Buddy Rich.
I
only
like
know
I
him
do.
because of Mike.
No, but you have to. I mean, to be
I
culturally.
know Travis Barker.
Okay.
So if we were to
Famous
say
drummer.
the majority of people that listen to us,
right,
and we were going to wax about something nostalgic that we thought would be a casting a wider net, what would that be? Well, something on the show, probably, right? You know, that would probably.
I
be
think the
something.
problem
Watergate.
Was, it was. You know what? We've done.
No, it's something you think about fondly.
Oh, excuse me.
In the past.
How
you
about
know?
like something from the 80s then?
Watergate.
No, that was the 70s, and you keep saying that. But I would think maybe like maybe the show Family Ties. That was a show from the 80s.
That's sweet. Yeah.
How about the
What
show
happened to Alex
Cheers?
Cheers, yes.
Cheers is a good show as well.
Fantastic.
Family Ties
that.
is no Cheers.
Punky Brewster.
You have to pick a show that everybody loved.
Even the boss?
Even the boss.
No,
Who's the boss?
No, but I don't think you do
Mike's the
because
boss.
I think one of the things about Nostalgia Corner is not only to reminisce, but also to sometimes inform.
But don't we want to cast with a
But
wide
don't
net?
we want to just let me talk for a
No,
second?
but that's an interesting point that's brought up. Do you, like for your next Nostalgia Corner,
right.
and I know how you work, so you've stockpiled them. What is your next one?
The next one, I was thinking about doing West Side Story
Sorry.
because of the re-release that's or the remake that's coming out at Christmas that Steven Spielberg is making.
Yeah, but we should do. We should do
Oscar,
it.
that's not nice to do the like that.
Sorry.
What are you thinking about doing again?
West Side Story.
No, I don't have control over what you do.
No, I know this.
I mean, that's your thing.
right. But
It's
you
been
know
very
what?
well received. People like the work you put in. It's like a term paper.
Well, you know,
What other options do you have? We could do a poll. Let the listeners decide.
what would you like to learn about, Oscar?
No, I'm not the nostalgia guy. I'm just here for the fun.
No,
and
you're
yucks.
just here to say no.
No,
and
I'm
never
a yes, man. I'm Dr. Yes.
You're Dr. Yes.
Not
Okay.
Dr.
He
No.
could do. Why don't we give Oscar? Why don't we task
Oh,
Oscar
I would love this.
with a thing
Yes.
that he would do a
All right,
segment?
I have a segment. How about Oscar leaves the studio?
That's not nice.
I did that one time.
That's
and you
not
guys
kind.
Never let me down.
I'm nostalgic about that time.
I don't know. With Oscar, like, for example, I was thinking about Oscar this week quite a bit because I was binging Animal Kingdom.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, I took a closer look, Oscar, at the lady that you were
Sean
you were
Penn's
talking
wife.
about.
Oh, you mean the long hair guy? The long
Yeah.
what is it?
Yeah.
Ren? Ren. Her name is Ren.
Ren.
Her character's name is Ren.
Ren, when you were talking about throwing everything away for Ren, I don't know. Have you taken a really close gander at Ren?
Maybe he watches on his phone and not on
I
a big
want
screen.
Ren to
Of course,
ruin
that is Oscar's type, though. I mean, because she is. I mean, really, there's not an ounce of body fat on her. None. That's
What did
your.
you find wrong with her outside of the
She
drug
looked
abuse?
a little grittier than she was very well cast to play
You
a
know
drug
I
dealer.
have- you know
in,
I have
in
a-
Santa Monica.
You know,
or,
I have
or
a
Venice
savior
Beach.
syndrome. Like when I go to any
Yes.
adult club, you're like, let me put you through college if I could. Like she looks like she needs help. I want to help her.
Well, I love that, and I love thinking about that. I'm like going, so Oscar. Every time I saw her, I'm like, I'm sitting there, kind of going, really, and I'm wondering if we're on the same page.
If she had a 401k and a savings account, I wouldn't be into her. But she's a mess.
You have
so
to
I'm
help
into
her.
her.
You have to help her.
So, Rob,
Yeah.
if
I'm
we
not
were
proud of
if we were like, you have Nostalgia Corner, I have my, opening a lot of times where I can just come in here and flap about whatever I want to flap about. But, as far as Oscars, we've done Oscars World, I think, to a certain extent. But what if we tasked Oscar with?
I'm afraid he would do like the album 12 Inches of Snow.
No, I would
From
love
the 90s.
I'd love to give a presentation on TikTok,
Internet.
Bitcoin.
I'd love to hear a presentation.
I would
on
like
TikTok.
that.
Love it.
I would like that too.
I attended
That would be interesting.
today's TikTok World Forum.
But
Good hour and a half of my life.
But also,
Learned a lot.
in my defense, I think that Nostalgia Corner, I sometimes seek to teach a little bit. And if I go to something older.
Well, what
I
if
know
no
you
one's
do.
auditing your class?
What's that?
I'm just saying you want to teach, but no one wants to go to your class.
I'll still teach.
Okay.
I'll still be there.
Yeah,
I'll
there's
be there
a professor within Rob that he wants to educate people about that stuff, and I think there's room for that. I think there's room for that.
But
I think
for example, I thought
yes.
I will be the first to tell you that Duck Soup and the Marx Brothers Nostalgia Corner is not one that landed well. It was not a successful Nostalgia Corner as others. No,
what feedback did you receive?
I could gauge it in the room. I was not landing well. However, just before it, I think Columbo landed very well.
That was fun.
And that was one that was, for me, quite educational because I learned a lot about the structure of the show.
Anytime we can talk about outfits, like trench coats.
You like that?
Yeah, that's good.
Oh, I want to say this before we get to any of the news or Rob's dumpster, because I meant to ask Rob this before the show, and I'll ask him during. Do you, by any chance, have the clip of the new cast member from SNL doing the Donald Trump impression?
I can bring it up. It's on YouTube. It's easy to find.
All right, I do impressions. That's what I do.
You're known for that.
The greatest compliment I can give somebody that does impressions is that I do their impression. So one of the impressions I did was Dana Carvey doing H.W. Bush. And, wouldn't be prudent. Nah, I ain't got to do that. That ain't got that. So this guy, and you don't have to play it right now, Rob. Okay. We can play it later. I want to tease it. So they've hired a new guy at the Complete Sheet. I have his name here, and I just wanted to bring it up because I pray that he does impressions as well as this particular. Everybody has done Donald Trump, an impression of Donald Trump. Alec Baldwin made his name. There is a new cast member coming this season of Saturday Night Live. This will be in the news later, but his name is James Austin Johnson. And it is...
Yeah, and point of order, he's hired at Saturday Night Live. You said he was hired at the Complete Sheet, but he's a Saturday Night Live hire.
Oh, the Complete Sheet had the story.
Yeah, the story.
So, they hired him at Saturday Night Live, and it is so funny to hear him. I don't even think there's a lot... I'll let you judge when we get there. Okay. Rob, when we have the news, can you make sure you play that clip when we have that in there?
Do you have a preferred? I like the two rants I like are Scooby-Doo and Weird Al. They're both great.
Whatever one you want to pick.
Okay.
Whatever one.
Right.
But this guy captured something that I, as an impressionist, stole immediately. And it's just great. And he did something that nobody else did. And that's always fun for me. So anyway, I don't know how I got off on that.
But Mike, I do want you to know, terrific. While we're on the topic of Saturday Night Live, thank God they kept Kyle Mooney.
Well, that'll be in the news later.
Okay. That's nostalgia, right? Have we done one on Saturday Night Live? I think we have. No,
we never have.
That might be nice.
Well, I mean, I
talk about it all the time
with the classic of Saturday Night Live, but I mean, it still exists. It still exists now. So I don't know. Does that preclude it from being nostalgic?
Well, I think people would find more interest in something that's relevant.
I think that my 2 cents
was not even backhanded. That was an insult right there.
You enjoy having your own niche. You like being on your own island, as I think I do to a certain degree. You like being a fan of a comedy troupe from the 30s that maybe not a lot of people track with. So that's cool. You like that. I think that when he talks about Saturday Night Live, it might be fun to do kind of a deep dive, but they've gotten over coverage, but just like an event.
Yeah.
Like a major event that was something special in the last 20 years where you got excited because you're contemporary. You've got contemporary artists that you like as well. So anyway, I don't know. It's your thing. You do. Why do you think the feedback was so negative for the Marx Brothers?
I don't know. I think that it might not be, their audio might not translate well in a non-visual setting.
Well, half their career was in silent films.
Well, Oscar, what you have to know is they didn't make silent films because they were an audio and a stage-based organization. They made one silent film, but it doesn't exist.
What about a nice rule of thumb for, and this is just a suggestion. Okay. You do not have to take it.
Oh, great.
So if you just start...
Rob is looking at me right now with the dead eyes, drumming his fingers.
If you just start...
Mike, this is just a rule of thumb. This is not anything that has to be enacted.
It's a
general principle. Maybe just a guideline.
Loosey-goosey.
Yeah.
What about when you're like, okay, if I'm going to be nostalgic, I'll start in the 1960s. And then
I don't think you can put a number on it,
Just for that, I'm going to do Citizen Kane.
So
Why not? I'm pumped for that.
Let me give you an
That'll be
example.
great.
What would rivet me?
Okay.
All right. You talk about, and we have joked about, at least for the regular listeners of this program, for years and years and years, about one major historical disaster
Watergate.
that you have a piece of memorabilia from.
Yes.
And we have talked about that forever.
Yes.
I would venture to say 2/3 of the audience don't even know what that's about. And that's a pretty fascinating little piece of nostalgia there when you think about back in the day when that happened. And it happens to come with a very significant piece of audio.
Yeah, you got
It
props.
does. One of the most famous pieces of audio.
So there you are.
Well, that is an excellent request and one that will be honored because I had never thought to go outside of show business.
Well,
for
you don't have to.
Nostalgic
You
Corner.
can go anywhere you want.
No, but
that's cool.
what's happened is you've expanded the parameters.
Yes.
And that's good. That's very good.
A lot of people in our audience don't remember this particular situation, like D.B. Cooper. You know what I mean? You talk about these type of things.
The German war machine.
that happens with that. I don't know why we're
called
talking
him
about
Coop.
this.
I called him Coop.
Right.
But yeah,
But
I think
anywho.
that I looked over all the things we did for Nostalgia Corner, and I think we've actually been pretty well rounded. We've done a lot of different things.
But you're
Okay.
But you're not looking at. You're looking at through your lens.
And that's the only lens I have, pal.
I'm sure.
Okay.
No, but I mean, as a broadcast, you have to look at it
Yeah.
through the larger
The audience.
lens of the audience.
Well,
what you care
and
about, what
it
we
is-
care about.
It is what we all care about, and that's the lens I used. I don't do it to put people off.
I would venture to say that if I, if I was going back and talking to an 18-year-old me, I would say, don't. Somebody told me a long time ago, don't let the music you're playing or the type of station you're on have any influence whatsoever on your personal likes and dislikes. And I would say that I'm not going to say it's all of them, but I would say a good 20 to 30% of those guys that talk all day about politics and yell and rant and scream and yell and all the time, they don't fake it. It's real. It comes from their soul, but they aren't. They didn't start out as true believers. That is a creation that they know will sell.
Oh,
And
sure.
I could do it tomorrow if I wanted to, but I couldn't do it genuinely because there's not that seed in me. I think the seed has to be there. But would you agree that the DJs that go on to be right-wing guys on the media, your Glenn Becks, your Sean Hannity's, your Rush Limbaugh's, don't you think that maybe there's a little part of them that tweaks that and says, hey, this is going to, of course there is.
I agree
yeah.
with you 100%.
Yeah.
There's
And
got to
then
be
they-
a playbook.
Because
There's a
it's the
playbook they all
showmanship.
stick to. Yeah, but I mean, when you the two names,
There are guys that have tried it and failed. Man cow.
Yeah.
Tried it.
two guys
couldn't
you
do
said
it.
there,
But
Mike.
and I use showmanship in a sleazy form where you're
Yeah.
like,
yeah,
Right.
all right, you don't believe this, but the paycheck's big enough that you're just going to make sure you believe it.
but Mike, when you said the first names that came to mind, two of them that you said, Glenn Beck and Rush Limbaugh, were both top 40 disc jockeys.
Yeah.
And what are they doing? But a top 40 disc jockey, especially back in their day, would sit down and parrot the same message over and over and over again.
See, that's
And
another topic, top 40 DJs.
And there's a sound that goes along with it. Now, I'm going to put Sean Hannity out here because
Okay.
he's a different entity. But there's a sound that goes like this, always. It's always dramatic. If I was doing it as me, Mike O'Mara, I'm trying not to do a Glenn Beck impression, but this is the way Glenn Beck talks
Yep.
about everything. So the story would go as follows. The other day, I am driving into the parking lot of my local supermarket. Now, it's a perfectly good supermarket. There are lots of people who shop there.
Mike,
They
you're
buy
too
lots
good.
of
You're
things.
Too good at it.
This is creeping me out.
They purchase groceries, produce, milk, bread. They have lots of supplies, sundry items that you and I need on a daily basis. That's fine. I understand that. And my only point is, if you're going in there on a Friday evening, say just after 5, isn't there any possible way you could do it on a Wednesday, on a day where you might have a flex work schedule? That's all I'm trying to say. Because if you are choosing to go to that particular grocery store on a Friday at 5. You are going to, and hear me here, because I guarantee it, you are going to go at probably the busiest time ever. Now, I just talked about nothing.
Did you get the playbook or something? Because
It's just,
They could do this.
you
It
could. You absolutely could.
It could be an April
Right.
Fool's show.
And I think
Yes.
what it is that, you know, these guys sit by themselves. Rush famously never had guests. And so they can take those pauses for dramatic effect and not worry.
and then you have to be controversial.
Yeah.
I would like to say something now that I know many of you are going to disagree with. And along the way, I may hurt some feelings at the same time. I'm prepared to do that. I am prepared to do that, ladies and gentlemen, because I feel it is important to share with you, my listening audience, as I have to be, as do the karate chop.
Wouldn't you transition into a quick spot, like something that you have to endorse before you get to the?
Before we get to this point that I want to make about Irish Americans.
Oh.
That I think will stun you. Let me tell you about Theragun. Theragun is a fabulous... All right, no.
I was really hoping it would be Mike O'Mara brand neckties.
The cancer, ladies and gentlemen, that is plaguing the United States of America can all be linked back to the Irish American experience.
Oh.
The Irish Americans.
Origin stories.
You may think jolly old Fitzy down at the local watering hole might be a perfectly good guy. I'm here to tell you that's not the case. The Irish Americans have for years been poisoning the minds and the bodies of we Americans. So and then they go on and on.
And
You
you're
can do
Irish, which
anything
is
like
really
that. And then you take a conspiracy
mind-f.
theory.
Sure.
Yeah, you take a conspiracy theory. You know, we hear a lot about water pollution, but what we don't hear is how did that water get polluted?
Mm-hmm.
And I will tell you that water got polluted from an otherworldly being. An otherworldly being. An extraterrestrial life form. When you hear stories,
you got to couch that with your opinion, though. It's my opinion.
I'm just saying.
You're just saying.
Look, I'm just saying this. I'm not trying to get anyone alarmed, but just be aware of this fact. It is true that the majority of aliens and sightings, UFOs that have crashed, recovery efforts have been found underwater. Anyway. I don't know why I'm all over the place today when I thought about those guys.
It's pretty good. And I love the fact, Mike, that another page that you have from the playbook, whether or not you realize that you're doing it, is their notion of saying what they're going to say, telling you all about what they're going to say, then they say it, then they tell you what they've said.
Really?
Because they've got hours and hours to fill, right?
Yeah. Creeps me
absolutely.
out.
It's the way it happens all the time. It's the way it is. Now, I'm going to get back on track here because this is a true story that happened. Right. We had it. I was unaware of it until maybe an hour and a half ago that Mrs. O'Mara informed me that last night in the new community next to Cocoonville, where I live, I think years ago, if you listen to this show, I told the story about break-ins.
Yes.
But, these
Unlocked
little gated.
vehicles.
If you happen to live in a community with a gate, and you happen to have that illusion that I talk about all the time of security, there was a rash of burglaries last night. A rash of auto break-ins. The reason that's interesting to me is Carla comes driving in tonight, and she mentioned, and I noticed this, that our little Boston Terrier, Winslow Homer, was perked up and growling out the window last night, right before we went to bed. Now, by the way, we turned in at toddler hours last night. This is a crime story. Yes, our dog, Winslow Homer O'Mara, at approximately 9:45 last evening, growled at the window. Initially, Mrs. O'Mara believed it was a reflection of her in the window that he was growling at. However, after a time, the growling continued after the lights had been turned off. Earlier today, a memo came out that there was a rash of car break-ins, and we were reminded once again to lock our doors.
Do you think that a conservative radio host would have an opinion on who committed the burglaries?
The conservative radio host has an opinion as to these gated communities.
Oh, really?
That build nice little entryways with gates that go up and down, and you have to be cleared to get in. And then when you get something like this, I have it. I have the email.
I've been to a handful
I really
of
don't want to
these
rat the
communities.
person out.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say at least a third of the time, the gate's just wide open.
Yeah, my dad has a gate on the community where he has his place on the Eastern Shore, and the not the current keeper, like groundskeeper, but the one before that had sort of a problem with initiative. He would often say, "Well, looks like a thunderstorm. I better tie the gate back because if we lose current, ain't no one coming in or going out."
In Phoenix, my guy's gate was always, I'd stop and look around. No one was in there. I just kept driving.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
Don't want to
throughout
lose
the
current.
night, there were multiple car break-ins. And that's all we got. Hi.
Ooh.
What?
Oh, what an
going on?
entrance.
Oh, look, it's Super Fudge.
What are you
You're not-
talking about car break-in?
Yeah, you're not here for a visit. Go. Give me a kiss. I love
Oh, he's not
Okay.
booked for today.
you. Bye.
See you
Not
next
today.
time.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Ciao.
Yes.
Ciao. That was a rough
Anyway,
ciao.
if somebody's never seen my son on the show, they might say, "Oh, that was harsh and cruel." No, it's he likes to pop in if he's bored. But anywho, I'm reading this here. Please check around and make sure you're not missing anything of value. Thank you. And then call the cops.
Was
Crime-
car
crime
damage
stop.
done? Were windows broken, or were they just
There's
praying?
no detail. That would be.
I thought
By the way, this happened last night. So at 1:34 this afternoon, Rob, I guess that time, 12, 13 hours that had passed.
Yeah.
I guess there wasn't any time to put that in the email. Just something that says lock your doors.
Well, Mike, a lot of
Thanks.
the local security for your community is out looking for Mr. Laundry. They can't. They can't
No.
do the car stuff.
I have said, look, there are two ways you handle this. You can bitch and not do anything, which is me.
Right.
But if I really wanted to do something about it, I don't care enough to, I would get involved and say, for probably what? $5,000 in a little hamlet with 400 bedrooms, with 400 doors, I should say, you would probably be able to knock this out with the right kind of cameras
Yes.
that are on every light pole.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But they don't do. Well, Oscar, but I'm saying is they pay all this money to have a person who sits at a gate all night long, getting paid by the hour, with no one coming in or out, except maybe 5 people between the hours of like 1 o'clock and 5 o'clock in the morning. And then this happens and everybody throws their arms up and you're not secure. It's not. It's a ruse and it's an illusion. That's the point I was trying to make.
Unless
I've
it's an
had it happen
inside
now
job,
twice.
Mike. Could be a neighbor.
And it could be somebody getting in the neighborhood a different way. For
Tunneling.
something like that.
Tunneling.
No,
There was not. The old place I lived in, there was a little more detail.
There's a neighborhood.
It was my community and it was Millsy's
There's a
community.
neighborhood in
next door.
D.C. that a ton of these home security systems, Ring of Security, caught a individual trailing another individual in the neighborhood driving slow as the person went and tried to open doors of cars in the neighborhood. Now, you see it on the Ring of Security, the camera, but even if you gave it to the police, what are the odds of them tracking these people
There's
down?
none.
Zero.
Well, no, that's
0.0.
wrong. That's wrong. I shouldn't say that's wrong because I know they, the people that do the sheriffing around here,
Yes.
they actually do.
They find them?
It's a small circle, and then they have
DC,
repeat
it's
offenders
it's
too.
the city.
Yeah.
And the
City's
not gonna-
more difficult to do that, and it's interesting.
But you lock your door. You've known this for a while now.
Yes. You got to lock your doors.
Well, yeah, but you slip because you do have that false sense of security when that happens. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's just what I get the impression is that, you have these people that are tasked with kind of running things.
Yeah.
And this is now something I think technologically, and I'll ask Mr. Tech over here, that would be able to be, I think you'd be able to prevent a lot of this crap from happening if they knew that in a great deal of detail they would probably be ratted out.
Yeah.
You know, if you had a mandatory, you have to have mandatory black painted mailboxes. Why don't you have mandatory Ring cameras in a certain spot? And then you see, and then the whole neighborhood is covered.
Everybody's covered.
Yeah, it's
Right?
like,
I mean, and that wouldn't be that expensive.
Look, the amount of policing that goes on in the city by neighborhood residents,
the neighborhood watch,
especially
Mike.
on Nextdoor, where you see all the break-ins because they have cameras everywhere in the
It's
city.
incredible in this day and age because we are getting, although they said in 2020, I think personal property crime was down. Murders were up, but personal property crime was murder. Yeah.
So,
do you have any break-ins in your hamlet where you live?
We had a run on cars about 5 or 6 years ago, and then
it's got to be back. I mean, a pony stopped by my neighborhood for a cup of coffee, and he got his car broken.
Yeah,
right there.
Well, of course, all the beautiful things in his car.
Broad daylight.
But I am, because of this happening, and this studio where I do the show, I can actually wheel my entire console back, and I think that this window that I'm looking at right now, where the camera is, right on the other side of it, would provide a beautiful view of the street. And I'm going to purchase a World War II. I'm going to purchase, not purchased. I'm going to purchase a World War II era 50 caliber machine gun. And if I see anybody looking, hinky, I won't kill him, but I'll just cut like a trench right in front of him.
And
like
Oscar,
that,
when he buys that machine gun, I will feature it on Nostalgia Corner.
There you go. Thank you.
See?
That's a great way to wrap up the segment.
all agree.
Thank you. Hey, everybody. All right, we're coming back with the homepage and more fun and more thrills, including Dan O'Brien. An interview with him later in the show today because he's working. He's working on the show. Whoa, whoa. Pony's having another mental health day. We'll take a break and we will come back with more fun and more thrills right here on the Mike O'Meara Show.
Pumpkin spice coffee.
Yes.
Pumpkin spice coffee creamer.
Oh, yeah.
Pumpkin spice cookies. Pumpkin spice ice cream.
Delicious.
Pumpkin spice air fresheners.
Smells like autumn. Ah.
Pumpkin spice bath bombs.
Sure. Okay.
Pumpkin spice deodorant.
Well.
Pumpkin spice Sudoku books.
Wait, what?
Pumpkin spice underpants.
Is that a thing?
Pumpkin spice condoms.
Well, now you're just being an asshole.
Wait. Pumpkin spice?
If you're feeling spicy, you can find all your favorite pumpkin spice treats and products for the home at Target and Walmart through the Mike O'Meara Show Shopping Center. Click the banner at MikeO'MearaShow.com and have them shipped directly to your door, or you can pick them up at the store. Your purchases help support the funny, so get your spice on today.
Spicy.
Spicy. Sounds like Bill Hader. Spicy. I'm trying to think that character Bill Hader used to do. He was like a sports guy, but he was an alien. Anyway, moving right along. When was the last time you checked on the current value of your home? With home equity rising at the highest level in years, you may be sitting on a golden opportunity without even knowing it. Sorry, the upper plate shifted.
Fix it. What's the name of that disc jockey that whistled?
Say, that's super. This is Bill Mayhew. So
No, Bob Steele, the guy that would whistle when he did the time check. Sorry.
Time. Got to turn the microphone up for him. Turn that music down a little bit.
Stop
please.
the music, Oscar.
It's time for our oldie. WTIC time. 1 minute after 7 o'clock. Anyway, getting back to the commercial that I was reading to you. You may be sitting on a golden opportunity without even knowing it. The nationwide average. Homes have increased 18% in value. It's for the birds. And yours could be worth even more. So what does this mean for you? Because we know, and you know, it's all about you.
Yeah, you.
With record low interest rates and the availability of all this equity, you can remove PMI, pay off credit cards, student loans, or take that vacation you've been putting off. making all of it tax deductible. It's more important now to work with a team you can trust, and I trust my friend Mark Livingstone and his team at Cornerstone First Financial. Cornerstone First is a direct lender, which means they have their own money so they can guarantee to meet or beat any competitor, and they will tell you what your home is worth with no obligation. Whether it's a refi or you're purchasing a new home, you need to call now. Call Cornerstone First Financial, 202-625-1221 or cornerstonefirst.com, and they have been an advertiser locally for us for a very long time, and we love them, so call them today, ladies and gentlemen.
From the four corners of the World Wide Web and into your digital device, it's what you need to know. This is the homepage.
All right, we've got some audio to start with the homepage today because Rob will have his later on in the show, but this was funny. David Letterman crashed a Brooklyn Nets press conference yesterday. It's amazing how time flies. You realize that when you get older, and you realize a lot of people, David Letterman's not relevant to a lot of people. As soon as you go off TV, the clock starts ticking. So he posed as a reporter at the Brooklyn Nets press conference, and he annoyed Kevin Durant. Because Kevin Durant didn't know who Dave was.
It's sad in a way. In a way, it's sad.
Well, the coverage on this is that he's pissed. Kevin Durant is pissed because it's Dave being Dave, just in there effing around. You be the judge and listen to this exchange when Dave comes into the press room for Brooklyn, and let's see what happens.
Dave from Basketball Digest. KD, why do people call you KD?
My first name is Kevin.
Right.
My last name is Durant with a D.
This year, what percentage do you plan on giving on the court? 90, 95, 100, 110? What are we looking at?
110.
110. I just got off the phone with the Dolan family, and they said that they're talking to the commissioner now. They're looking at working a contractual deal that will allow you, when you're not playing for the Nets, days off, you'll be able to play for the Knicks. Comments?
All right, Dave, that was the last one.
I'm sorry, was that a comment?
That was it.
What about the Pelicans? When you guys play the Pelicans, does it kind of make you giggle?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, that's all I got.
Good job, Dave. You let anybody in here.
So he did know, right?
He had
did kind of know.
No, because he said he identified himself as Dave at the front of it.
Last one, Dave. Moving right along. Jamie Foxx wants to remake Stephen King's Misery based on something that actually happened to him. I'd welcome a remake of that movie. Misery is about a writer who is saved from a car wreck by a lady who claims to be his biggest fan, but instead of helping him, she holds him captive. You've seen the movie.
Of course.
We talk about it all the time. With Jamie, he spent an evening with a couple who won the opportunity to hang with him at a charity auction. He says, quote, "You know what an actor loves more than money? Compliments. I was supposed to be there for 30 minutes. I ended up staying there for 2 hours." I guess he went to their house.
Wow.
He was doing crap from Ray because they were complimenting him. But then, he says this, but then it got weird. So I built the Misery remake upon that. He didn't disclose anything else that the couple did. I guess we'll have to wait and see if this remake happens, but he's thinking about doing that. I think he's a great actor. I think he can be a little dickish once in a while.
Yeah.
But I think he's a great actor, too. So
Do you think he would take it in a comedic way, though? Because it sounds like a funny setting almost.
I don't know. I think that, well, really, if you look at Misery, I mean, that's kind of funny.
It has
right?
some funny parts in it, yeah.
Like when she hobbles.
That's funny. That is funny.
Hysterical. Remember that speculation about Kate McKinnon, Cecily Strong, Aidy Bryant, and Pete Davidson possibly leaving SNL? Well, it was for nothing because they're all coming back this season. Only 2 people are leaving. Granted, one of them is Beck Bennett, who's kind of a big deal.
Well, I like he did the baby character that was so great.
And he never blossomed, right?
No, he never really did. He never really did.
The other is featured player Lauren Holt. You watch it all the time. Do we know her
I
about anything?
I think she does Britney Spears. That was her Keystone impression, I think. So
okay.
Yeah.
2 featured players from last season, Bowen Yang and Chloe Feynman.
Please, Mike, say their names like Don Pardo because they're great names to do it.
Bowen Yang, Chloe Feynman. They've been promoted to full on-cast members, and 3 new featured players have been added. There's Sarah Sherman, who also goes by Sarah Squirm and has some truly bizarre videos on YouTube. And then there's the guy we talked about before. His name is James Austin Johnson, and I love impressions. I really, really do. I loved them until Don had Frank Caliendo on too many times. But that's okay. Well, I was jealous. I got tired of it. So, anywho, listen to this guy's name, James Austin Johnson, and a lot of people do Trump. Listen to his Trump. Let's listen,
folks. We love Weird Al. We love Weird Al Yankovic. Weird Al, an American original. He's got more money than sin. More money. He's probably, I don't know, maybe he's got more money than me. I don't know if he's got more money than me, but he's got a lot of it. He's got a lot of spunk and he's got a lot of talent. I've never seen anybody who gets famous playing accordion. I just don't see it. I just don't see it. Who's doing accordion? And we don't even know how it works. Science doesn't even know how it works. He gets the piano and he squeezes it and it sounds really crazy. And Weird Al figured it out. God bless him. We think it's great that Weird Al figured out that accordion. I don't even know how they do. We don't even know how we do it. Does it need batteries? We'll never know. We'll never know. And science doesn't know. But Weird Al was very mean to Coolio. Not very nice. Coolio was very upset with Mr. Weird Al. He didn't do
brilliant.
It is. He didn't ask for the rights. He just went and did Amish Paradise, and he just didn't even ask for the rights. He didn't even ask for it. When he did Gangsta's Paradise, he had such a big hit with Gangsta's Paradise. And, with Amish Paradise, what they do is they take the music and they steal the whole thing. They just steal the music and they write a new words and it's a new song. And everyone goes, oh, it's so great.
All right, that's enough. Okay. So he goes on and on. And it's Trump.
It is.
Yes.
It's the way Trump talks. Everybody does the, yes, sirree, we're very happy, that type of thing. But this guy.
Is it the cadence?
No.
What is it?
If you want to know.
Please.
All right. What he does is he's got something in his nose. He just closes down the nose a little bit. And it's back here, and I don't know what's going on. He's very nice. That's the way it is. It's back here, and that's how it. Yes, I do impressions of impressionists. That's what I do. It is so fantastic, Rob. I want them to use this guy like a toilet. I think we're all craving it, and I really hope they use him on the first episode.
I hope so.
I hope this goes viral a little bit, that this guy's doing this.
They alienated me when they were having Baldwin do Trump because it was such stunt casting, right?
It was stunt casting with a big name. Have the guy be Trump.
Yeah.
I would love to see that. We'll see what happens with that. So I just laughed my ass off, and I heard another one that he was doing, and you played another clip, and that is just as good.
The Scooby-Doo one is also funny if you want to search it out, folks. Very
funny. Earlier this month, people were complaining on Reddit about things that used to be great but suck now. I normally run away from stories like this, but this particular story...
Is Pony on the list?
It's got credibility.
That's a joke.
The Reddit thread went viral, so now even more things have been added. Here are a few things that used to be great but suck now, and I think they're all right on.
Okay.
Number 6, theme parks. They're insanely crowded and expensive now. In 1981, a one-day pass to Disney World was $9.50. Adjusted for inflation, that's about $29 today, but the actual price in 2021 is $109 to $159, depending on when you go. And I can agree with that. Amen. Number 5, the news in general.
Oh, true.
It seems like there's more bad news than ever, and everything's sensationalized. It's like it's the end of the world. They do that locally and nationally. Number 4, fast food. It's never been good for you, but it's even more unhealthy now. A report just last week also said drive-thrus have gotten slower and less accurate now.
Yeah,
so fast food
You know what
is
Joe
not
Pesci
good.
says? They always F you in the drive-thru.
Hey, there you go. Do I amuse you? I said I want a nugget.
Anyway, let's see. Makeup. That I don't know much about it. I checked this with my wife. She said it's true.
Oscar?
Used to be fairly simple. Now social media makes it look like you need 150 different primers, creams, and contouring tools. Number 2, movies, films. The writing sucks, and all the money goes to remakes and Marvel movies.
This is a curmudgeon-y list.
No,
I agree with it.
I think the movie thing is sort of dead on. You occasionally get a diamond in the rough, but also think of the last 2 years. You don't even get to go to a theater to see a movie
but you're
anymore.
looking at it it's completely wrong, in my opinion, where we have so many movies coming to like online properties that we are spoiled. We have so much to choose from.
But I think of movies in movie theaters. When I think of the movie experience, that's what I think of.
The only movie I'm excited about coming up in the future is, and I probably will go to a theater to see it because I don't want to watch it at home, is Dune. The remake of Dune looks so spectacularly visual. It really looks incredible.
And what about Jackass Forever?
Yeah, Top Gun 2.
That's right in my BR. I'll watch that in the bedroom. And number one, concerts, Rob. I'll ask for your opinion on this because they used to be a lot cheaper. You could see major bands for $30. Now you can easily pay 5 times that for a decent seat. What say you?
This is true about the tickets, but I do think the presentation has gotten better and the sound has gotten better. So that if you are forced to be in the back of a room, it's not a deal breaker right away. And also, I think that you have to choose who you want to go see, and if you go see someone who's an up-and-comer, you're not going to be paying $500. You pay $500 to see the Eagles.
I'm not paying $750 for a backstage experience with Hall & Oates.
No, that's true. Or to get your picture taken with Fall Out Boy. And now she doesn't even like them.
She the Fall Out Boy. They're very talented. So
Yes.
Sorry. I'm obsessed with that guy right now. All right, now a little something, and I would like to preface this by saying, ladies and gentlemen, I will be discussing a medical procedure here. So if you need to edit, this is I'm talking about medicine right now. A middle-aged man got his you know what? Stuck inside the neck of a plastic bottle for 2 months in what was believed to be a masturbation game gone wrong. The 45-year-old unidentified man from Nepal used the neck of a bottle to strangle his you-know-what, a technique sometimes used for pleasure. When he finally went to the doctor 2 months later, they had to use cable wire cutters to free it from the strangulation device. I would say, so this type of strangulation, which medics say is often attempted as part of a sex game, can cut off blood supply and even cause tissue to rot if left in the device too long. Medics at the Koirala Institute of Health said his thing had become extremely swollen due to a lack of blood flow, and the patient was on the verge of suffering long-lasting damage. But the man would not reveal why he did it, and he never came in for a follow-up, so doctors don't know how well he recovered. He was driving a nice car, though, Rob.
Oh, what kind of car?
A Jag. And he went out for a sandwich afterwards, they
really?
told me.
What kind of sandwich?
Jerk chicken. But I understand why he didn't show up for the follow-up. Because of his job, he has trouble making appointments.
Really? What kind of trouble?
Well, he never knows when he's going to get off.
Hi, everybody. There you go.
I have so many questions, but I don't want to ask them.
Yeah, we could do a whole bonus show on that. You know?
Sure.
Maybe even try it. Anyhow, we're going to take a break. And
Excuse me.
Well, try the bottle trick, you know? I could do it.
A good bonus show.
We'll be right back.
The Beach Boys today in
Bottle trick.
whole history.
How did it come to this? Me, Murray Wilson, the father and manager of the Beach Boys, fired by my own flesh and blood.
The Beach Boys fire you right now. Now, you're fired.
Quit screaming and start singing from your hearts, huh? Watch your ooze. So you're big stars. Let's fight, huh?
Two facts are irrefutable. Rob's digital audio dumpster vault is pure comedy gold. And Beach Boys patriarch Murray Wilson was a huge dick.
I made you and the Beach Boys. You'd be nothing without me.
You dick! I'm a genius too, you know!
Listen to Rob's Pet Sounds every day on The Mike O'Mara Show and Murray Wilson.
Daddy takes a deeper.
Welcome back to the Mike O'Mara Show. The way you use the internet has changed dramatically.
Yes.
Over the last decade. But sadly, security tools have mostly stayed the same. Aura provides complete digital, I was going to say complicated. No, it's
complete
digital security to help protect your online accounts, finances, and devices, and more. All in one easy-to-use app. Aura provides digital security protection to keep you safe from online threats. It's all-in-one protection from identity theft, financial fraud, malware, scam sites, and so much more. With Aura, you'll get alerted to fraud and threats fast. Like if your online accounts or passwords were leaked online. I've had it happen with me. I use Aura. It's fantastic. Or if someone tries to open a bank account in your name, Aura is easy to set up, and they can alert you to that. All plans come with a $1 million identity theft insurance policy to help recover your stolen funds. Plus, Aura has experienced U.S.-based customer support that's got your back. Aura is a new type of security service that protects all of your online information and devices with one simple subscription. Aura keeps you in control and guides you through solving any issues. For a limited time, Aura is offering our listeners up to 40% off plans when you visit aura.com/TMOS. Go to aura.com/TMOS to get complete protection and savings of up to 40%. That's aura.com/TMOS. Yesterday on the show, we were chatting with Oscar about how wonderful it is to have the whole family together.
Yes, what a treat.
And it actually ended with a bit of a surprise twist.
Yeah.
A bit of a watery surprise.
It was
twist
like an M. Night Shyamalan story.
It was a little scary at the end, but I mean, completely
normal.
Normal.
Not to be
happens.
unexpected.
So you came in today, and I wrote it down here. Family fallout
for
Oscar, based on yesterday. I'm not going to rehash anything that was said.
It's fine. Mental note for you baby broadcasters and podcasters out there.
Here we go.
When you're making fun of your parents and you're doing your shtick because it's part of this business to tell about your business and their business and everybody's business.
It works.
And you ask them not to say anything, not to ever listen, because they should never, ever, ever listen to the show. When they do listen, it'll be at the worst time in your career.
Exactly.
When you talk about your parents peeing themselves or doing other things.
No.
Because they're getting a little older.
What is it, Oscar, about this business? Rob, I know you can agree with me.
Yeah.
That we can go and go and go. We can have incredible interviews with very brilliant people. We can do fantastically funny bits, and we'll have to almost grab people with handcuffs to get them to listen to it.
Right.
We'll say something that we think nobody's going to get bothered by it, and the whole family.
Yeah, their antennas are up and their heads are cocked. They're listening like Cocker Spaniels.
And I get it. Probably not appropriate for a son to be talking about, his mom's ailments. But I was yelled at and accosted, and then I was at the end of the story. If you listened yesterday, I was vindicated because I was right.
Yes.
Yeah, you had called this little medical issue.
I come from a family of doctors, and sometimes when you're too much of a doctor, you have a blind spot, I think. And no, I knew what was going on. So,
you'll always be number two.
Yeah, number three. Are you kidding me? Number three.
More like number one.
And
I'm sorry, it wouldn't be number two. Be number one. I messed it up.
Number
You're
two
right.
would be.
Yeah, that'd be
an easier diagnosis.
He would have been yelled at more.
Oh my God. Well, certainly the
I am so sorry.
Lexus Leather wouldn't be looking the same.
No.
So after they listened to the show, it wasn't just water over the bridge?
No. I got a hot text from my
dad.
I got a hot text from my dad, and my dad hates communicating.
Oh man.
Your father contacted you
through WhatsApp.
Wow, was he pissed?
A text. He was not.
Okay.
He was angry.
Mike, WhatsApp is a free communications tool.
Yes.
All right, hold on.
So he doesn't have
We're going to stop here. I'm going to find out exactly what happened. All right.
Yes.
Oscar talks about a little issue with
Mama
dribble.
Yes.
Yeah. So then who listened? Who ratted you out? How did it get up the chain to your dad? There's no way your dad's going to listen to the show.
I still don't know.
Oh.
Because at 43, I'm still scared to call the man back. I haven't even written him back. I'm pretending like I didn't get the text.
Oh no!
Well, WhatsApp is dicey. No, it's dicey technology. You can buy.
Maybe if he texted me or called me on a regular landline, I'd get it.
Hey, Oscar, I'm over here now.
Hickory dickory dock, it's dicey technology days.
So the fallout is I get a hot text from my dad, which is in Spanish, and says, ¿Qué dijiste en el show? And he writes El show.
So he's not calling it the Mike Show anymore?
What did you say on the show?
L Show.
And then he says, and then he wrote, Getty, he said that to my mom, which is, what did you say about your mom? Second text.
Oscar,
Haven't answered.
I'm so sorry.
My sister called me this morning at 11 a.m. And as soon as I picked up the phone for that, I said, hey, I'm in the middle of a meeting, which I was.
Sure.
I thought is everything okay? And she told me some long story, which I know she wants to tell me about something else, but she didn't do it because I gave her the heads up that I'm in the middle of a meeting. And now it's Tuesday afternoon, and like I was in high school, I am dreading getting off school because I have to address this eventually.
So you haven't even reconnected with your sister yet?
Boy.
Well, let me tell you something.
Be brutal.
Oh, dear. But see, for me, selfishly, we'll have a follow-up tomorrow,
yes,
too, to know what's happening.
It's called a plot arc.
So you don't even know how to, but obviously, I guess the point I want to make here, there's no way that your father just randomly picked up on this. Somebody called, probably your mom, called your father, right?
No, the phone call came from within the house, from inside the house, and there's a narc in my family, and I don't think it's my mom. My mom doesn't even know how to use her iPhone.
You think Tatiana ratted you out?
I can't say it's her.
Wow,
but I know that she
has
has our app on our phone.
Mike,
my brother has the app on his phone. And by the way, funny bit that my family does when they connect with me after some time, they will just read the titles of the shows and pretend like they are engaged in my life.
What was the title of yesterday's show?
The title of yesterday's show was Wouldn't You Barracuda?
So it has nothing to do with that.
So it's the fishing store.
So I knew right away, like that, and I made sure. By the way, there are days where I make sure this doesn't happen. Like my Pony doesn't write because he'll do this to me. He will write Oscar's mom, blah 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 blah, incontinence. So I made sure he didn't.
By the way, that's the title I would have used.
Yes, I suppose.
But I'm not involved in that decision-making process.
I asked him. I said, "Please don't burn me. Please don't burn me."
So don't use that as the title.
Don't burn me or my mom.
So you were going to use it, and then
so we Googled the lyrics of Barracuda. I always thought it was Ucha Barracuda.
Ucha Barracuda.
But you know how you get like,
oh
Mike,
my God, you're living this right now. This is your psychotherapy. You're venting.
But if you ever watch like a Murder, She Wrote or some sort of diagnosis murder show, in the first 5 minutes, you get a gut feeling of who's the guilty party.
Yeah,
keep an eye on your sister. She was in the thick of things just the past 48 hours.
But the tree could be my brother saying, hey, I heard this, deal with Oscar because she's the oldest, and then I turn into the youngest again, and it turns into this.
Can I be honest?
Yes.
It's no biggie, and you're doing your job, and you're a comedian, and it happens. Sometimes, sometimes when you're cooking in the wok, a little oil gets splattered. It happens.
And there's a flare-up. Yeah.
We probably should. And now we're trying to do a comedy pyramid, and that's not appropriate. So we're not going to do that.
No.
Good luck with that.
Yes.
I hope everything works out.
That was a little John Teshi, Mike.
I'm more...
I'm not my own
you
voice
can tell
today.
Me this.
I'm skitzing out.
It's been some time probably because of the pandemic that I've ever felt this family angst of being the youngest. It's been some time since I felt like, oh no, I'm in trouble from my family.
There's nothing worse,
right?
Next to, I don't care. I'm not going to try to think of anything that's worse.
Yes.
I'm just going to tell you how bad. What sucks is because it's the people who 99.9% of the time don't give a shit. All right? Could care effing less. And then all of a sudden, now we're intrigued. I say you go on full poor pitiful me.
Yeah.
That you're slaying this dragon, working your ass off in a broadcasting career every day, entertaining thousands of people.
Amen.
And they're not going to pick you up. And how about they call you? And why don't you come up? Here's what I want you to do, because I'm getting ramped up for this right now. All right.
Yes.
Make a list of the greatest things not the last year, since the inception of the podcast. Some of our best moments. Ask him.
Yes.
He'll help you out. Rob will help you out with this. Just do a list of five and say, no one called me and bury and do it with like drama and cheers. Do it like Glenn Beck and say, what I want to tell you, here's when we were talking to the biggest selling author in human history. No one rang my phone. Something like that.
Yeah.
Might be fun to do. We got to take a break.
I think it's a great idea.
Anyhow, that's just
I feel
really,
better. I feel better.
I feel like I want to call your father, you know? It's a Buenos noches. But anyhow, I've been there.
Who is this on my app?
I get it. It's going to be a tough afternoon. We'll take a break, and we'll have more fun coming up right here on the Mike O'Mara Show, everybody. There we are.
The Mike O'Mara Show.
Probably have a couple beers.
TMOS.
2, 3, 4.
A full-bodied podcast.
Sometimes wine.
With earthy tones of pop culture and a bouquet of comedy, wit, and sarcasm.
Do you drink every night, Pony?
Yeah. I'll have a martini about 5 o'clock.
The Mike O'Mara Show.
Sometimes 4 to 6 beers.
A drinking show.
4 or 5 drinks.
With a radio problem.
How am I alive?
Watch the live feed weekdays at MikeO'MaraShow.com or download it wherever you get your podcasts.
I have a wonderful bottle of wine that I may be debuting on this week's bonus show.
Nice.
And I know, and by the way, we tape in the afternoons here now, and we will be moving back around mid-October to the morning tapings, which means that perhaps on a Friday, we can
do this.
gather the gang back together, and maybe Rob can take the machine to his house, and we can have a little.
I thought you were going to say when we go back to morning tapings, you're going to switch from wine to mimosas.
No, I don't drink before the show, except on the bonus show.
That's right.
I did it last week and had such a great time. It's the fastest hour I've ever done.
Zoom.
Ever. In my career. It was like,
fastest hour in
zink,
radio.
Like that. And that starts, before I get here. This weekend, Tom Brady returns to New England for the biggest game of the year. And the stakes have never been higher at MyBookie. Whether you're backing the Bucks or Pats this Sunday, the game is always more exciting when you got money on it at MyBookie. Get in on the action and take this game to a whole new level at MyBookie.com. Both teams are sporting top defenses, and nobody knows each other better than Brady and Belichick. Slow and steady will win this race. Smart money bets the under. Don't wait around. Join MyBookie now and bet on the biggest game of the season. Use our promo code TMOS and double your first deposit. Are you listening? That's promo code TMOS to get double your first deposit with MyBookie and start your winning season right now. Sunday night, under the lights. Place a bet and get set for excitement. Thought that was the end. God, Rob, it's the biggest game of the year, so get in on the bet. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. MyBookie.ag. Light it up.
Yes.
Light it up.
That's going to be a great game, Mike.
I can't wait.
We should put. I'm going to put my bet in right after the show before I call my dad, so I have something to look forward to.
Are you going to bet the under?
Yes, on my life as well.
Honda. Okay, I always complain that I don't get to meet anybody at Papa, but we have working today.
Yes.
Another little check-in with him to see how anything's going. And speaking of family members sometimes being, involved in the show,
yes.
I know this lad's mother, occasionally hears us say things about him. And it's probably been problematic, but that has nothing to do with anything. He's back. Producing the show today, subbing for Pony, Dan O'Brien. Dan, how you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic, Mike. Thank you for having me back on the show.
It's great to hear your voice again. How's every little thing? We didn't get a chance to talk for a very long time the last time we had you on. How is your mom doing? How is Debbie doing, your mother?
Debbie is doing fantastic. She's loving her new job and loving life in general. Things are fantastic with me, and I just got off a wedding this past weekend.
Ooh, those are fun,
wedding.
Especially for a young buck like you. Was there a beautiful bridal party involved?
Not really. But besides that, the wedding was fantastic. There were many drinks had and lots of great people.
Was it a family member that was getting married, Dan?
No, it was actually an old friend from college. I actually ran into probably about 5 to 7 old college friends I hadn't seen in probably 2 to 3 years.
Oh, that had to be super festive. Did you get drunk?
Oh, I was quite drunk by the end of the night. I was so drunk I didn't even drive home because I'm not irresponsible. I slept on a friend's couch, woke up in the morning and realized I need to leave to get back home on Sunday morning.
Dan, Dan, I don't know if we, the last time we had you on the show, if we even examined your love life. Are you dating anyone currently? You're a good-looking fella. You dating anyone currently?
Why, thank you, Mike. I am quite flattered. I am not dating at the moment, but I'm exploring my options. I'll keep it open at that.
I don't want to monopolize this conversation. Do you boys? I know you work with Dan every day. Is there anything you would like to share with Mr. O'Brien?
Yeah, I would. I'd like to actually do the scene set.
Dan O'Brien.
That's me.
There he is,
Didn't
his own
expect
jingle.
that.
Fantastic.
Dan, I saw you post I might have even been a status picture on Facebook with a fancy gold chain. Is that part of your search and accomplish a love life?
Search and destroy.
Yeah, well, I didn't want to say destroy, but is that part of your 5-point plan to get yourself a lady?
No, that's just the jabroni from Jersey not being able to leave all the bad parts in Jersey.
Oh, yeah, the gold chain.
He's a gold chain guy. Gold chain guy.
He's a
Kind of
gold
thought that died in the 80s. I'm very surprised.
Well, Dan, if we're talking about your private life here, what are you looking for in a filly?
Oh, I don't know, just anything.
Philly.
I heard that.
O'Brien.
Let's
There
try
we
to
go.
reset. I haven't heard the term Philly in quite some time. When it comes to a woman, what particularly appeals to me is certainly ambition, good looks, and just an overall sense of just a nice humility. You know, a nice, simple girl.
Mike, who
When's the
doesn't
last
want
time-
an ambitious woman?
An ambitious woman. Who are you, G. Gordon Liddy, for Christ's sake? I chose her because of her sturdy structure and her mathematics ability. Anyway.
I met her at a wedding.
Oh, very good Liddy. That was wonderful.
O'Brien.
Dan, when was the last time you dated or had a relationship?
The last time that I had gone out on a date with a woman was right before the pandemic, so I'm going to estimate at about January or February 2020.
Oscar, Rob, can you help
Yeah.
a boy out here? I mean, this guy needs some help, it
Dan,
sounds like.
how
Really.
many empty 2-liter bottles are in your house?
Oh, for the bottle trick?
Oh, God. None. I am not that desperate.
All right, I have not observed Dan O'Brien in the dating world. I have not, been
Never
around
seen
him
in a social setting.
In a social setting. You guys do it. Wait, doesn't he participate
I've
in the
seen
happy
him.
hours?
No,
and
yeah,
all
I've
that?
seen him. Dan is guarded. Dan is guarded because I think and I could be wrong, because he can really put up a facade around us that he's got some confidence. But around women, he seems guarded. That's just my opinion.
Dan, we're going to stop doing the funny voice now because we're getting serious about you. And do you think that is a fair description of you, the guarded? Although now I want him to use the funny voice again.
Well, he can answer. Let him answer serious, then funny.
Answer seriously, and then answer with your Dan O'Brien voice. Okay.
I don't think guarded would be the right word. I'd rather say that, maybe it takes a little bit of a natural introduction. But I'd say once things really start to get going, then I think it's really just aces. It's really smooth from there on out.
I don't know if I'm thinking back and if I'm thinking accurately, but it seems to me Dan might have closed a deal when we did our New Orleans show. Is that true, Dan?
That is, in fact, true.
Rob Spiewak with
Nice
the dinger for the good pull. That is an incredible. Oh, turn that up for Christ's sake. Thank you. Oh, that's why it's turned all the way down. I'm sorry. I got to give Dan O'Brien the big dinger. Thank you very much.
The text I received from Dan was, they call me the MILF Hunter.
Oh, God.
Really? Wow. Was she an older woman, Dan?
I apologize. What was that, Mike?
Was she an older woman, Dan?
She happened to be just a little bit older than I.
I have confidence in him. Yeah. I have confidence in him. I think he's a fun guy.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Yeah, you said a little guarded though, right, Oscar? How would you tweak the personality when he's out there, looking to find love in his world?
Well, Dan can't do assertive. He just needs to find a way to be natural. And I feel like there are times, like on the show, that he's got a character and he should just be himself.
Yeah, he can. When he gets tense, and there's a sense of discomfort. He gets almost military-like, very precise.
See, I enjoy the character, though. The character is
it's great
fun
for
to
the
talk
show.
to.
But it's not good if you want to find an ambitious woman, though.
As do I.
Yes.
Yeah, all right. So, well, the love life and everything going well for you at Podville?
Absolutely. I couldn't be happier.
That's good news.
We share an office, you know.
You do? What's it like working in the same office with Rob Spiewak?
I love it. I genuinely love it. I sound fake, but I genuinely mean it.
Oh, that's sweet,
It's
isn't
very
it?
sweet,
See,
Dan, yeah.
and that's the thing,
Super
ladies
sweet.
out there, that there's a sweetness to the guy, right?
Yeah, and
he's
it
a
does
sweet.
not-
Rob, you work with him every day,
And not just ladies. He's sweet to everybody.
Yeah.
So, Dan, maybe open the playing field a little bit.
Oh,
Oh,
I'm
okay.
certainly open-minded.
Okay, thank you. We appreciate it. That's Dan O'Brien, ladies and
There he
gentlemen.
is.
And
What a treat.
What's the deal, Oscar, with Pony? What's going on with him?
Oh, Dan.
What's,
Maybe this is a good tease for tomorrow. Someone's going back to school.
like Pony?
Someone's going back to school.
Who could it be?
Yes, we will reveal it tomorrow.
Well, Jesus Christ!
I'd like to ask you a few questions.
Burgers?
Kind of tacos.
Sick of spaghetti.
Well, there's a new neighborhood restaurant that has something for every member of the family.
It's Michael William O'Mara's butt cheeks.
God damn it, Twitch.
It's Michael William O'Mara's butt cheeks restaurant. Can't do it.
It's Michael William O'Mara's Butt Cheeks Restaurant.
Yes, butt cheeks. It's what's for dinner.
Try our posterior pork chops, rusted grump steak, and delicious derriere desserts.
For reservations to Michael William O'Mara's Butt Cheeks Restaurant, submit your letter to the TMOS mailbag.
Just email Rob at MikeO'MaraShow.com. That's Rob with 2 B's.
We'll see you at Butt Cheeks.
Goodbye, foodies.
There we go. Thank you. All right. Welcome back to the Mike O'Mara Show, brought to you by Sleep Number. Summer's over, and it's back to the grind. Establishing a consistent bedtime and wake time routine is key. By the way, down here, beautiful morning, finally. The summer broke a little bit this morning, and it was when you live every day, multiple days, hundreds of days, with 90-degree temperatures.
Thousands of days in consecutive.
When you get that, thousands, hundreds of thousands. Anyway, quality sleep helps boost energy, recovery, and well-being. Sleepers who use their Sleep Number 360 smart bed features and Sleep IQ technology get almost 100 hours more of quality sleep per year. Fun fact, over 33% of Sleep IQ sleepers have a preferred sleep number setting of 35, 40, or 45. But remember, it's completely adjustable to you. And don't forget, children need quality sleep just as much as you do. Kids need they need sleep to help them be happy, healthy, and productive in school, at home, and during after-school activities. Sleep IQ technology shows your ideal sleep-wake schedule and the best times for working out and winding down. And it improves your bedtime and wake time consistency. So, go to bed and wake up at the same time, even on weekends. Dim the lights. Bright lights keep the body alert and keep a nighttime room temperature of 65 to 70 degrees. That's 65 to 67 degrees, which is ideal for quality sleep. Get a Sleep Number bed. I wouldn't sleep on anything else. A great day starts the night before. My Sleep Number setting is now a 70. Carla is holding steady at 65. It's time to discover the Sleep Number 360 smart bed right now. You can enjoy special offers, but only for a limited time, only at Sleep Number stores or at sleepnumber.com/TMOS. That's sleepnumber.com/TMOS. Thank you very much.
Spin it.
All right, let's open up the digital dumpster and see who's in there right now. For God's sake.
This is Don
Jesus
Knotts.
Christ.
So how about it? Thank you.
Don Knotts is in the dumpster.
Don Knotts, West Virginia's Don Knotts.
Yeah, from Morgantown, West Virginia. The late
And
Don
he will
Knotts.
not be leaving. He will not be leaving the dumpster.
He's a
All right?
permanent resident there.
Amen.
He stays in there, and maybe he sees Andy in there sometimes. I don't know.
Andy, yes, that's Andy Griffith, who's also dead, Dom.
Yeah, so many. It's almost like that show is cursed. So many people from the Andy Griffith Show have passed.
Well, it's almost like that show is like from the 1960s.
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know about that.
I know the guy who
I
played...
don't know about the fact that really old people die. I don't know.
The guy who played Howard Sprague died doing the bottle trick.
It's a terrible tragedy.
It's really a horrible way to go.
Yeah, it fell off.
When you wake up in the morning and you turn on your computer and the first thing you see is Mike O'Mara has typed LMFAO exclamation point all in caps, you grab that audio.
Yes.
And I didn't realize that if you go to TikTok,
internet,
Bitcoin.
You can see movies of Gary Busey. And did you know that at Busey's house?
I have to set this up.
Please. Short.
All right. The best way to do this, we played Gary Busey tapes forever.
Yes.
And he's got a way of talking. He just doesn't pronounce the words because he's been an actor and had his ass kissed for so long. He doesn't have to do it. But what I noticed, the video of this, the worst bedhead I think I've ever seen.
Insane. And it's not being helped by the fact that it's Bird Day at the Busey house, in which there are birds crawling on Gary Busey. And I think really my favorite part, and there's many things to love in this tape.
The funniest part's when the bird attacks it.
Well, the TikTok just ends without any sort of
explanation.
Yeah, it just stops.
After the bird hurts him.
That's right. Here's Gary Busey.
As you see, I have two birds with me today. They're family members. One is Pee-wee, this one here, and this one here, my name for it is Little Hawk, but they're calling him Shaco. The thing about Pee-wee is, Pee-wee's all over me and scares me, and I don't know where,
That's it. So he's got this parakeet on his forehead.
Yes.
And the parakeet goes in for like a chunk. Play that again.
Okay.
Because it's scary. Can you imagine talking to this guy in real life?
As you see, I have two birds with me today. They're family members. One is Pee-wee, this one here, and this one here, my name for it is Little Hawk, but they're calling him Shaco. The thing about Pee-wee is, Pee-wee's all over me and scares me, and I don't know where.
He's talking about his birds, and meanwhile the parakeet is like picking at him like he's a rotting corpse.
Well, there might be like nits and stuff in his hair.
He's
I
grooming
love
him.
it.
Now, this has been, I've watched this for a couple days, and there's almost like a conspiracy theory that they're saying Norm Macdonald planted a seed to let people know that he was about to pass away.
Oh.
And it's kind of fascinating. Maybe they're putting too much value on it, maybe not. But on one of his last interviews, he did a weirdly placed Adolf Hitler joke, and it sort of predicts the way his death was going to be covered after he passed. And it's the old joke about, I didn't even know he was sick.
I'm sick of these kind of characters. I think we should kill Hitler.
It's like he died 50 years ago, probably.
Did he? I didn't even know he was sick.
Norm Macdonald, and your thoughts?
Well, I didn't know he was sick.
Jay Leno, were you aware of that?
Sudden.
No, I didn't know he was sick. He kept it all inside.
I was shocked. I didn't know he was even sick. I had no idea.
But it is my duty to bring you these internet.
I know. But I don't buy it. I don't buy it. I think that's an old joke. I didn't even know he was sick.
But I do love that Norm was one of the last ones to really do the great Germany jokes. He really, really was.
Well, Norm was also, after his death, I have done more deep dives on Norm Macdonald where it's like a great artist where you keep finding more and more and more. And he did so many talk shows, plus his podcast and his stand-up.
He was himself. He's every time.
Oh, he's himself
Yes.
every single time. And, you even people that should intimidate him, you can see him where, like, he's making his debut on certain shows. He's a little more up.
Yeah.
But the real relaxed Norm is when he just would go in the opposite direction. He's doing one panel with Dennis Miller, and they're trying to get him to do the OJ jokes that he did, and he won't do it. And Norm goes off on this, 10-minute riff of, I just think he's a really good guy. I don't know why people are picking on him, and Miller is falling off the couch going just because he did the opposite of what people wanted him to do. That's Norm.
And it was so great when David Spade has his short-lived evening show.
Yes.
And Oscar
Which
and I
you loved, by the way.
Yeah. Oscar and I both loved it.
I loved it.
And he would have the people on the couch while he did his monologue. And at one point he did a joke about Wheel of Fortune giving away prizes. I forget the joke. And Norm says, they give out cash. Just to kill the joke.
Just to kill the monologue.
So great.
That's awesome.
So great. All right. Daniel Craig is still in the press because it's his last appearance as Bond, right? And he has thoughts about who could replace him as Bond. I don't think he likes Hugh Jackman.
You know that everybody's now going, who's going to be next? Hugh Jackman told you just to enjoy it.
He's not going to be it.
Is that stipulated?
Over my dead body.
It's not going to be him.
So I love that.
No, that means
Funny.
he likes him.
Yeah.
That means he likes him.
But
That's
I do.
great.
I love Daniel Craig. Doesn't seem to misstep in the press to me. I think he just handles the press really well.
Yeah, and he's there's a movie that I really think was I don't know how well it was received by the public, but I know critically acclaimed. Munich. I think it was the Steven Spielberg movie. And Daniel Craig is so fantastic.
I have a clip.
in that.
I actually have a clip from Munich right here.
Okay, let's listen.
As you see, I have two birds with me today. They're family members. One is Pee Wee, this one here, and this one here. My name for it is Little Hawk, but they're calling him Shaco. The thing about Pee Wee is
Scares you.
Pee Wee's all over me and scares me, and I don't know where. I don't know where. I don't know where.
You got to know that Munich is for mature audiences only, Mike. That's your digital dumpster.
Oh, that's right. All
Have
right,
a great Tuesday, everybody.
To get out of here, Gary Busey. Whoever shared that, Rob, we thank that listener that shared that with us. Oh, Buseyisms. And apparently, Busey's all over TikTok, right? So there might be
But does
mining
he
for
know
gold.
he's
I
on
don't know.
TikTok?
I have no idea. We got to get out of here. We'll be back tomorrow with a new time for our Talking Head. We'll have a Talking Head tomorrow at the beginning of the show. Looking forward to that. For Rob Spiewak and Oscar Santana, this is Mike O'Mara saying so long, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Ciao, ciao.
Want more? Make sure you check out the Mike O'Mara Bonus Show. Get it at MikeO'MaraShow.com.
Mike O'Mara, Radio Entertainment.
Good morning, Granny. By saying good morning doesn't mean I want you to have a conversation with me.
How would you like to be told that about your child? He's minimally exceptional. Oh, thank God for that.
If that's a joke, I love it. If not, I cannot wait to unpack that with you.